Says I'm live. Am I live? I guess I'm alive! Yeah, I touched the wrong wire over here, and I might be alive. A little more than I want to be. So I've got this battery here that I basically built. Was pretty simple. It's a lithium ion phosphate, lifepo4. I got 16 of these 100 amp hour cells from Alibaba. They came in the mail. Took several weeks to get here. I live in Oregon. It cost me about $730 with shipping and everything, and it came with the bus bars. So I taped it all together because this is for a 48-volt pack that's going to go in my golf cart. And if you stay tuned, you'll see that we also have a JK BMS that we're going to install, but not today. That'll be a video for another day. For now, we're going to test this here inverter. This is a 1,000 watt inverter, and I've never used it ever. Got it a while back. It's been sitting around in the shed, and let's see what it can do. I don't know if you can see over here. I have a hot dog roaster, and it's electric, and I did some tests with it. It pulls almost 1,000 watts, so that'll put this inverter to its limits, or pretty close to it. I also have a power monitor, so we can monitor how many watts are being used by this thing. Right here, got this hooked up to my breaker box in the house. And you can see here, it just clicks. It just has these little clips that clip over all the wires, and then it connects to Wi-Fi. And on my phone, I can just look on my phone and see. Oh, that's nice. See what's going on. It looks like there's something going on there. I can't. Is it backwards? All right, so that is showing us one of the smart plugs. I've got a smart plug. I'm going to lose track. We've got this smart plug right here. As you can see it. Where am I? Okay, I'm over here. This white thing here is a Wi-Fi enabled smart plug, and it will monitor the power going in and out of the. And so, yeah, I set all this up for you guys so we can do this together. I'm a little nervous about connecting this to here. I have in my golf cart, I've got 48-volt battery pack of lead acid batteries, and I charge it with some solar panels. And every time I go to connect the cables to charge, it throws off a big spark. So I found out that if you use this resistor right here, it looks like 100 watt, 10 ohm, 100 ohm resistor, and use that as a pre-charge to take the spark out of it. That's okay. Let's get going on this. So here we are, plus and negative. We'll hit the plus, hit the negative. Looks like we have 56.9 volts in this pack, and I did charge it up to 58.4, and I let it float at 58.4 and then disconnected it. So this is what it dropped down to. Very interesting. Okay, so without further ado, where's my safety glasses? Let's grab my safety glasses, and we're going to hook this puppy up, see what happens. Hopefully we don't have any problems. So I think, if I remember right, you connect the positive first. Let's see here. Get this stuff out of the way. Oh, and this cable is just, it's not connected to anything. So you'll be able to see that. All right, so let's hook up the positive first. Now, I touched this on here the other day without the pre-charge resistor, and it sparked, and I thought, oh, too much volts for this thing to handle. Maybe it only handles 48 volts, but after going and looking online, it says 60, so we should be fine. Now, here we go. I'm going to connect. Let's see here. going to take this pre-charge resistor, and I'm going to clip it to the negative terminal of the inverter. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and touch it on this negative terminal. Oh, there's a little spark, but not much. Okay, and then hopefully we won't get any spark when we do this. Nope, it worked. We didn't get any spark. Okay, great. Now, let's see here. Does this thing show any voltage? No. I guess maybe it has to be on. So, is this thing connected good? It seems like it is. All right. So let's go ahead and switch it on. I still got my safety glasses on, and hopefully this thing doesn't catch on fire. Yeah, what do you know? It didn't. It says 55.7 in voltage, and the out voltage is 120. Wow. See, that was much nicer when using this resistor. Okay, so the next task is going to be to put this thing to some testing, right? So I want to connect. Let's see here. I've got this power cord here, and this power cord is the one that goes to the meter over there, the power meter, the Wi-Fi power meter, and the hot dog toaster. So let's go ahead and plug this thing into the inverter. Okay, so far so good. It's not doing anything too strange. It still says 120 volts, 55.6. Okay, let's come over here to the meter. Is the meter showing? It's if you look on the top right over there, it says 0. So we are not using any power. It doesn't say offline. So okay, should we go ahead and flip this thing on? Safety glasses back on. Got to wear the safety glasses, and hopefully all this will work. Let's go for it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and power. Okay, the inverter is making noise. It says in voltage is 53.4, 53.2. It's struggling to get enough in voltage. Fault. It's flashing fault. So I guess it doesn't like my cables, probably. That would make sense, huh? So let's go ahead and shut this thing off. And shut this thing off. And then we will unplug the hot dog cooker there. Okay. Let's see. Did anything show up on the scale here? As far as 124 watts. Is that all? Seemed like it would have pulled a lot more than that. Okay. Well, we're going to make another video connecting that JK-BMS onto this battery as well. The only other thing I can think of is if we connect the terminals of the battery directly to the inverter. We can try that right now. Let's go ahead and pull this off. Pull this off. Okay. Let's take this red terminal and this little clamp here. We're just going to go ahead and set that off to the side. And we'll take this big terminal, this big old beefy sucker, and put that on there. We'll see if that makes a difference. Okay, that's really beefy. This washer, it's so beefy that the washer is taking up too much space. All right, so let's put that on there. Tighten it up. Okay, that's a start. Let's see if I have another terminal for the negative side. And since this is live, I can't really pause the video. You're just going to have to hang out and stare at it for a few minutes. I'll be right back after these short messages. All right, guys. I'm back. Thanks for waiting. So I have this black battery terminal. It's a little bit on the rusty side, so I quickly grabbed my 4-inch grinder, and I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. All right, that should do it. Now let's go ahead and put this on the battery. I've got this here wrench, and I've got tape around it to kind of help protect it from arcing on things. But just be really careful. You don't want to arc this out. There's a lot of voltage in here. This one pack has more power in it than my entire 8 battery golf cart pack. It's nuts, the amount of power that's in this thing. And it'll take me further to do more on a lot less. So let's make sure the other end of the cable is clear. All right. I'm going to put that on there to kind of clamp it down in. All right. Tighten up the terminal. Not too tight. You don't want to strip that bad boy out. Okay. Now we've got this other end. And let's pull off the cheap terminal on the inverter. Tip the inverter up on its end. And again, remove the washer. If you can see, looks like my camera needs to go up just a little bit. Okay. If you can see, I had removed the washer on there. And I'm going to use this thing again here just to be on the safe side. Put that resistor in there. Okay. And next, I'm going to put this on here. Okay, so far I think that's okay. It's all plastic. And now I'm going to put this washer on if I can and see if we can't tighten that puppy up. All right. So now we're a little more hardwired onto the battery, the plus and the negative. And let's go ahead and turn this thing on again and see what happens. All right. 54.5 is the input. The output voltage, it says, I guess it takes a minute, 120. All right. So 120. Let's go back to our barbecue hot dog cooker. And let's go ahead and plug that in. All right, it's not on yet. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to want to do is probably turn it on, right, and see how many watts we're pulling on this bad boy. Let's see what's up with that. We went blank on the apps. That's weird. Okay. There we go. So we're pulling 0. Let's turn on the barbecue cooker. There we go. It's beeping again. It's not showing that we're pulling anything. It's showing 120 volts, 52.4 in. Not enough volts again. Again, it's just not having enough power. So, I wonder why. Could it be these little terminals on this thing are just chintzy and small? Could it be that I'm just trying to use too much amperage at once or too many watts? You know, that hot dog cooker is like 1,000 watts. Maybe we'll try something else. Let's see. What do I got out here? Yeah, let's see here. Let's try something else. All right. So I've got a Red Bull refrigerator here. Okay. Got this little Red Bull refrigerator. I don't think you can see it. And I'm going to plug it into the power monitor. All right. So we should be plugged into the power monitor. And let's turn it. It should already be on. Okay. Low 53.6. It's fault. So turn it off. Okay, and turn it back on. 53.1. Low 120 volts. Okay. Well, the refrigerator appears to be on. Okay, the refrigerator's on. The inverter is showing at 53.4 coming in and 120 volts coming out. The battery pack, let's go ahead and see what we have on our battery pack. See if it matches what the inverter says. 54.5. And the inverter says 53.3. So there's about a volt difference there. I tend to trust the multimeter more than the inverter. Okay, so, well, I guess the wattage here, it looks like 69. It's hard to see. Let me monitor. I've got like a 4-inch monitor on here. 1,069 watts. That wouldn't really make sense. I'm a little far away from the Wi-Fi, so maybe that takes a minute to catch up. It's possible. Let's see here. If we go to the home, and we got now the water heater. It's the highest consuming thing on there. And then this experiment at the bottom is showing 0. Not correct. 1069 minutes in the last hour. It jumped up probably with that hot dog cooker. And then now it should be back down to a smaller amount. Yeah. Nonetheless, we are running off of this inverter right now. The mini fridge cooler, I'm going to just leave it on and let it continue to run for a while and see if it does anything. See if it gets cold. I haven't used this thing in storage. I can hear it. It's on. And we'll see if it manages to stay on that inverter. And kind of sad I can't read the power on there. It's not updating. Okay, guys. Well, that's it for this live video. I don't know what else to show you other than the JK BMS. I can show you this JK BMS right here if you want to see it. And we're going to be hooking this up. The battery management system. This thing was about $185 online. Comes from China, and apparently it's a good one. It's I think it was 250 or 200 amp, 350 amp peak, I think. Yeah, and so it has all the Bluetooth and connectivity, and it'll help you monitor and keep your battery from undercharging or from discharging too much. It'll cut it off and do things like that and help to balance. It has active balancing, so it'll balance the battery cells when it's charging. If one of them is a little lower than the others, it'll put a couple of amps of voltage into that one battery and bring it up to match the rest. So that ought to be interesting. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's see here. I dropped my mouse. I got two mouses here. I got the wired one on the machine that's running the live video, and then I have the wireless one on my phone right here. If you can see it, running DeX, DEX, Android DeX or Samsung DeX, and that's kind of cool. With the DeX on here, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. It basically turns your Android phone into a computer. And so, yeah, I mean, you can go online with your phone. You add a mouse and make it interesting, and have everything here to be able to test it for the first time with you guys. It was a little bit of a setup for me. It took me a little while to get it all here and ready and hooked up and all laid out and ready for for the presentation for you guys to see it. So anyway, I'm going to do the same thing when we connect the BMS to the battery before we put the battery in the golf cart. I've got a few things to do to the golf cart before we do this major upgrade on the battery pack. The golf cart currently has lead acid batteries in it, and they charge up to, it's a 48 volt pack, and fully charged, I think it hits 52 volts. But as soon as you start driving it, the curve just drops, it loses its power right away. And so they say that the lithium pack, not only is it probably at least 500 pounds lighter than 8 big old 6-volt batteries, because those things are heavy. One of those is like trying to carry it, across the yard. And this whole lithium pack has as much voltage, juice, and power in it as all 8 of those other ones, which is amazing. And I can carry it around. Yeah, it's heavy, but it's lighter than one of those 8 batteries. So I'm going to take all 8 of those batteries out of the golf cart, put this one battery in there. That alone should make it, have more power and make it faster. But also the lithium pack charges up to 58.4 volts when it's fully charged. as you've seen, the voltage drops when you unplug it from the charger. So it goes down to like 54 or something. After a little while, it doesn't stay at the 58.4. At least it doesn't seem like that it does. So, but anyway, that 58 volts, that extra 4 to 6 volts is going to make that thing go a lot faster. And what I'm told is the curve where the voltage drops off on lead acid batteries is way different. This thing will stay at the higher voltage pretty much the whole life of the charge. And so you need to have that meter on there, so you know your state of charge, you know how much you've pulled out of that battery, so you can get her home and get it plugged back in without killing your battery. Another advantage over the lead acid batteries is the lithium pack. The lithium pack, you can run it down to like 10% its capacity. Unlike lead acid batteries, if you ran them down that low, you might not ever get them in the lithium pack than you do on the lead acid. So there's a lot of advantages to it. And not only, I mean, this pack, like I said, was 730 mass. You add a couple $100 to that, and then you got to build a box. And, by the time you're into it, maybe $1,000. And if you I think that's what I heard. They don't like to charge. Maybe they still discharge, but they don't want to recharge. I'm not quite sure on that yet, and we'll get there when we get there. I don't use my golf cart too much in the winter, so that won't be a problem. And I charge it all with solar panels. So I don't have a golf cart charger. I've got a Victron charge controller, and it's got parameters in it where you can set how many volts you want to fill your batteries up to. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. Have a great day, great evening. It's getting dark, and we will talk to you later. And how do we end this thing? End the stream. Islands in the stream, that is what we are. All right, I'll stop if you insist.